where you take enlightened entrepreneurs, coaches, and influencers together to discuss cutting-edge topics in the world of relationships, culture, business, and spirituality. And here's your host, Miss Carol Boston.
Hello, everybody. Did you see that last picture? Well, I don't have a glass of bourbon today, but I got my LSU cup and my water. Welcome to Crack Your Code, Reframe Your Life. We are excited to be here today. I was just telling Aruba I even got my jacket on. I'll tell you a quick story about that. Yeah, things change very quickly, don't they? Are you ready to reframe your life? Well, one of the first things you get to do is change your language. Then you'll change your mindset, and then you'll change your outcome. Now, I usually open up and say, I'm your weather girl, and I look outside. There's not a lot to look at today. It is dark. It is cloudy. It is gray. It's been drizzling. The wind's blowing 20 miles an hour, and I was so surprised this morning. Let me back the story up. As you can see, my background is different. I have been cat sitting for Teddy. That's Mr. Roosevelt, Theodore to you. He's a rescue purebred Persian. You know, the kind that had the nose that's kind of smashed in. And I got here last Friday, and it was 74 in the house. It was nice. We'd had a couple of cool days, but Saturday it was 83 outside, and the AC wouldn't click on. And we tried to get the AC guy here on Saturday. He wouldn't come. It was hot in here Saturday night trying to sleep. And then Sunday it was 85 degrees outside, so he finally comes. And we get it fixed, and I sleep much better the next night. And I get a text last night from the owner of Mr. Teddy, who's coming back in the country tonight. And she goes, hey, if it's cold, the AC has a button you can turn the heater on too. And I thought, you're crazy. It's not cold. I just said, thank you so much. It's not cold here. That's North Florida that's getting the ice and the snow. I get up this morning, I shower, I've got my t-shirt on and my shorts. And because I'm going back to my place tonight, I started packing up stuff. I wanted to, because I had lots of clients to coach today and meetings. And I opened the door and walk outside, and I was like, holy crap, what happened? I came back in, I made one trip to my car. I came back inside, got my jacket. This is the only jacket I had with me. It's pretty thin. But I got my phone out, and I'm like, what is the temperature? 49 degrees with wind gusts up to 20 miles an hour. What? 83 to 49? Welcome to South Florida. It's still chilly out there. It's blowing and glowing. And the temperature in the house keeps dropping. It's 70 degrees in here now, which I don't think is bad at all. But when she comes home, she might turn that heater on. A lot of people in Florida down here are turning their heater on today. Oh, and I'm thinking, if you, you know what? I'm not even looking at the comments. My bad. When you join me, chime in the comments and let me know where you're chiming in from and what the weather's like where you are. Now, those of you who follow me know I'm your weather girl. Love the weather. OMG. Louisiana, Baton Rouge, where I went to college, grew up. It's in the deep south, right on the Gulf of Mexico. New Orleans got 11.5 inches of snow. It's literally snowing on the water in the Gulf of Mexico. And yet, the Santa Ana winds on the West Coast, the fires are still burning out of control, killing people, destroying billions and billions of dollars of property. And I said it last week. I said, have you ever asked yourself, God, can't we just, I didn't ask yourself, ask God, could we just take this snow and this ice and blanket California, kill all the fires? Wouldn't it be amazing or scary if we had that kind of control over the weather? So let's think back. It is now 2025. And let's go back to 2021. In Texas, we had a nor'easter come down out of Canada, and it blanketed the entire state of Texas. Snow and ice took down the electrical grid for millions of people. And that grid stayed down for days. People died because they froze to death. That snow and ice went all the way to Mexico, unheard of. And I thought, I'm the queen of reframe. Come on, if you follow me, you know I'm the queen of reframe. I teach and train on empowering questions, how to get the answers you really want. And I thought, how can I reframe this? And I created an offer And I think I might just bring it back. I called it my Snowmageddon offer. $97 for 90 minutes, clarity to cash. Get totally clear on what has you stuck and get an action plan that you can put into place to get immediate results. A lot of people booked that call. I eventually took it off the market. But I'm thinking, maybe I'll bring it back. What do you think? Put it in the chat. We had lots of new people join us last week. That was fun. And I'm looking as to how we can take this podcast from behind the barricades that it's behind and get it in front of more people, not just the people that are on my Facebook page. But if you're here today, let me know. Join me. The weather's kind of fickle, isn't it? It comes and goes. It changes on its own. Guess what? So do our feelings. Our feelings are just like the clouds. They come, they go, they roll by. They're rarely, I'm not going to say never because I stay away from always and never, but they're rarely, if ever, consistent. They rarely stay consistent for long periods of time. I've coached 4 clients this morning. Some common themes came up. One is we get to make business decisions in our business and not emotional decisions. Business decisions. We don't get to say, oh yeah, I just don't feel like it today. I'm going to lay in bed and watch Netflix. No. It'd be one thing if you were working for somebody else and you just took the day off because you had a salary. But when you're in business for yourself, you get up and work. So what do we do when we just don't feel like it? I worked with 2 clients today. We talked about their top 3 ways of being as a leader. Who are you being in your business today when nobody else is watching? Because how we do anything is how we do everything. We don't like that. We don't want to look at that. We go, oh, no, I don't do that in that part of my life over there. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. How we do anything is how we do everything. Some of my clients, I help them with sales, reframing sales. Many of my clients, right? They're heart-centered entrepreneurs. When it comes to the bank code, look at my bank code, NBKA. I'm number 1, a nurturer. As nurturers, we like eye contact. We are about connection, community. We are about harmony, relationships. Don't you dare try to sell us something unless you get to know us first. We want to help everybody. Ends have challenges with setting solid boundaries. I'm coaching 2 female clients this morning on this, and they're like, boundaries are a challenge. But when we set boundaries, folks, when we say no, when we mean no, our yes becomes much more powerful, much more powerful. Do you know your no? If you knew your no, you would not find yourself in situations where you're resentful going, I can't believe I said I'd go to this party. Oh my God, why did I say that? I don't want to go to this party, blah, blah, blah. And you're resentful because why? Your no didn't mean no. You said yes when you meant no. But when you know, K-N-O-W, your no, N-O, your yes becomes way more powerful. When you're consistent with your no, and then you give somebody a yes, they believe you. Decades ago, my friends would ring me up on a Friday night. Come on, Carol, let's go out to the bar. No. And initially, this is 40-something years ago, when I wanted everybody to like me, I would give them a story. I would give them a story. Over and over, they would call me, and then they'd ask why. And if you follow me at all, an empowering question doesn't start with why. And then I learned, you might want to write this down. This is a writer downer. No is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. And I stopped giving them excuses and stories. I just said, "No, I'm not coming." Guess what they did? They kept calling me, but they stopped asking me why, blah, blah, blah. They stopped trying to peer pressure me into going because it didn't work. But when they called me to do something and I said yes, they knew come hell or high water, unless I was dying, dead, or in the hospital, I was going to keep my word. I was going to keep my word. And we talk about that on this show, keeping our word. But so often, as nurturers, even as actions, even as knowledge, and even as blueprints, we will keep our word more often to somebody else than we keep our word to ourselves. And we erode self-trust. We don't even know it. It's insidious. And it keeps us stuck. We won't take that little risk to move our business forward, that little risk to get the next client, that little risk to step into a new relationship. And we don't even realize it's because we've eroded self-trust. Come on, who's with me? Put in the comments if you're here with me today. We're here every Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Who knows? Maybe we'll change the time. Because I love engagement. I love having a dialogue, not a monologue. So where in your life are you letting yourself off of the hook? Where in your life are you not keeping your word to you? And yeah, it's okay. It's just me. And then you wonder why you don't like yourself sometimes. You wonder why you don't like yourself very much in general. You wonder why you're looking for outside validation. One of my clients I was coaching today, oh my goodness, she's got 3 or 4 degrees, umpteen certifications, and has no clue what her own value is. I said, all those were just about getting outside validation. Somebody else to tell you you're good. Somebody else to tell you you're worthy. No, I help women business owners know their value, own their power, and advocate for themselves. So they rise up and become the lioness leaders they were created to be. Come on. Women are leaders, but we're hiding our gifts under a bush instead of letting our light shine. Why? Because we're afraid. Did you notice the title of today's talk? Are you afraid of making a mistake? Did you notice the word mistake is misspelled? Mistakes, I call them learning lessons. When they're evaluated, when we look back and go, without judgment, we go, this is what I did. This is the result I got. It isn't the result I want. So what do I get to do differently next time to get a better result? Mistakes, when evaluated, create masters, because the more we're willing to take a look at what didn't work and make changes, guess what happens? Things begin to work, and they work more and more often. And they give us greater results, sometimes even greater than we can imagine. Who wouldn't like that? Put that in the comments, right? But in our business, we get to have boundaries. We get to say no. I have clients who think that anybody that says yes to their offer, they got to work with them. No, you don't. This is your business. You get to choose who you work with. You get to choose. Once I started studying bank, and I'm now going, I'm going through the coaching program for almost the third full time. When the first time I got in, they had already started, and then the last time I went through the whole thing. Pretty cool. Pretty cool what they do, right? You pay once, you get to go again and again and again and again, which is invaluable, priceless, right? Different people show up. You get to learn different things, different scenarios, different situations, and you get to get what? Better. I don't know who said it, but they said something like repetition is the mother of success. I'm quite confident I just misquoted that. Ooh, but you know what I'm saying. But it's like the saying people say, practice makes perfect. No, it doesn't. Practice makes permanent. If you're practicing the wrong thing, you're going to permanently have the wrong thing. It's perfect practice, and nobody's ever perfect. Makes perfect. But practice makes permanent. If you do it over and over and over again. If you tell yourself a lie over and over and over and over and over and over again, after a while, guess what? You believe it's the truth. You really believe it's the truth. Judy Ann Young, practice does make permanent, not perfect. Amen, sister. Hello, Judy Ann. Tell us what the weather's like where you are. We're so excited to have you here. You missed my whole weather story. North Florida got 7.5 inches of snow and ice. Hello. It didn't even get out of the 20s in North Florida today. But there's no climate change. We won't go there today. Oh, my. I had my first coaching session with Miss Judy Ann a week ago, I think. And I invited her to attend with me another coach who was doing a 30 days to stop procrastination. I mentioned that to another client today, and they were like, I wish you'd invited me. Listen, there's a coach. She runs a $6 million business, and she says procrastination is a form of self-abuse. Let that sink in. Judy Ann says, it's cold and it's 54 degrees in Las Vegas. This is cold to us. Well, that's what I was laughing about earlier as I walked outside this morning. It's over the weekend. It was 83, 85. I'm running the air conditioner. I get up this morning and I put on my t-shirt and my shorts and I walk outside and I was like, OMG, what happened? The wind was blowing at 25 miles an hour and I didn't know what the temperature was. When I came back in from walking to my car, I got my phone and checked the temperature is 49 degrees. What? So it was colder than that with the wind. That is cold in Las Vegas. You know, Las Vegas has had snow in the past. Yes, it has. Phoenix, Arizona, they showed, I learned a lot on the Weather Channel this weekend following, not this weekend, these past couple of days, watching the Weather Channel following these storms. Is it Stan? This first storm was it called Danny? And the second one's called Enzo. Yeah, name storms. Judy Ann said, yes, it is. Absolutely. Well, we're at that time in our show where we do what? We invite Ayanna Van Zant into our lives. Her wisdom, her expertise from until today. I was really hoping Malcolm would join us again, Judy Ann. He was here with you last week because he's in Houston, Texas, and Houston got about 4.5 inches. Mimi Auditel in the house. Hello, Mimi. Mimi is out of always cold Canada. So this weather down here is not facing her at all. Welcome, Mimi. It's been a long time since you've been here. Say hello to Judy Ann. Judy Ann, say hello to Mimi. Ooh, Mimi's an awesome lady. I met Mimi in, guess what? Guess what I'm wearing, Mimi, because the weather dropped below 50 degrees. Judy Ann says, I know Houston is in shock. Wait, here is it. Hardcore leadership 30. What were we 32? Yeah, 32. That's where I met Mimi. Very intensive leadership program we did. Hardcore leadership 32. And here she is. And I rarely, if ever, wear a jacket down here in Florida. And this is the one I have on. Ooh. Interesting, right? Mimi says, hello, Judy Ann Young. All right, let's jump in real quick. January's theme is life will work for me when I realize ... And then every day we get a new lesson. Today, her lesson to us is, I cannot break through until I have a breakdown. How many of us hate that word breakdown? We avoid it like the plague. We don't want to own it. Listen up, she's got some good stuff for us. Each of us must face a moment in our lives called the breakdown moment. This is the time when you must stand toe to toe, eyeball to eyeball, with the very thing you have tried desperately to avoid. In that moment, you will want to find a way around, over, under, or out of having to do what you are faced with doing. You will do anything, say anything to avoid having to go through what is facing you. Who's been there? Put it in the comments. Say Yana, Y-A-N-A. Carol, you are not alone. You will want to run and hide. You will get weak, almost faint. You will believe you're going to be sick, but you won't be. What you will be is on your way to greatness. In the breakdown moment, the very thing you have feared, resisted, and denied will stand before you, shaking its finger in your face and sticking its tongue out at you. It will show you things about yourself that you refuse to see or acknowledge. It will tease you, taunt you, push you, pull you to the verge of breaking down. In fact, that is its purpose. In the breakdown moment, your defenses break down, your fantasies shatter, your excuses fail. Your resistance erodes. In that moment, when there is nothing standing between you and the thing you fear the most, you will be forced to step up into your greatness, because that is what life is demanding of you. Until today, you may not have realized that you are totally able, perfectly prepared, fully capable of doing the very thing you have convinced yourself that you could not do. Just for today, be devoted to doing just one thing that will help to convince you. Today, I'm devoted to stepping into my greatness. Are you? Put it in the comments. Are you committed, devoted to stepping into your greatness? Do you know that you have greatness inside of you? I don't know if it was 2 or 3 years ago. My coach looked at me and said, Carol, everything you want is on the other side of the work you're not willing to do. Oh, 2x4 upside the head. It's true. And at the time, the things that I wasn't willing to do were things that I feared, because I hated technology, didn't want to do it. Ooh, that's for somebody else. Let me go try this other way. Hello. It's post-COVID and everything is technology. Mimi Auditel says, amen. Exactly. Where are you in the breakdown process? Are you willing to reframe it and say, I'm getting ready for a breakthrough? What does Joel Osteen always say? It's not a setback. It's a setup. It's a setup to bring you up to the next level. I often, when I talk and speak with my clients, and they say, oh man, Carol, I ran into a brick wall. Have you ever said, it feels like I run into a brick wall? Yeah. A lot of people quit. They think the brick wall is there to stop them. The brick wall is there for you to determine what's in you. Is there enough in you that you're willing to find a way to climb over the brick wall, to go around the brick wall, to drill a hole through it? You see, the brick wall isn't there for you to prove something to somebody else. The breakdown isn't there for you to prove something to somebody else. It's there for you to prove to yourself that you are capable and that you can do it. How many of us know that oftentimes the hardest person to convince of our value is ourselves? There he is, Malcolm. We were just talking about you earlier. We talked about the snow in Houston, Texas. He says, absolutely 100%. Yes, yes, yes. How are you faring in the snow, Malcolm? I take it you have electricity, which is good. You have heat. Malcolm, I was at the very beginning of the show before y'all joined me. I talked about the ice and the snow all the way down to the Gulf Coast, New Orleans getting 11.5 inches, North Florida getting 7.5 inches, and now it's turned to solid ice. And we don't have neither does New Orleans. They don't have the trucks, the gear, because it just doesn't happen, right? And I reminded them, remember back in 2021, Malcolm knows, I created my Snowmageddon call, $97 for 90 minutes, clarity to cash, get totally clear on what's gotten you stuck and get an action plan so that you can take effective action to get immediate results. Malcolm took one of those calls. Malcolm says, I love the snow in capital letters with an exclamation point. I was texting night before last with a friend of mine. She's my best friend from college. She and her husband still live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where we were what? We were LSU Fighting Tigers. She happens to be, believe it or not, she's either in Michigan or Minnesota at a business conference. And I said, well, is it snowing in Baton Rouge yet? So her husband went out in the backyard and took some pictures and she sent them to me. But man, did it snow there yesterday. They got 7.5, 8 inches. And I said, I wish I was there. And she said, me too. Even though where she was, it was even colder. Right? It was -1 degree with the wind chill. It was not that cold here. I do miss the change of seasons. I like being able to wear sweaters and boots and, ooh, you don't do that down here. Too hot. Too hot. Are you ready? Are you willing? Are you willing to have the breakdown so you can have the breakthrough? That's one of the things empowering questions do is they help you have faster and easier breakthroughs. You know, you can't read the label when you're inside the jar, and we're all in the jar. The answers that you're looking for are right outside your jar. You just don't know how to ask the questions to get the answers, to come into your awareness. Mimi says, I love playing in the snow. Malcolm says, I had a great time and so did many others in the 4 inches of snow while the city was shut down. Good for you. Let's all have fun. Have boundaries. Know that no means no is a complete sentence. Know your no. So often, especially as women, because we're raised up to what? Don't raise a ruckus. Stand over there, smile, and look pretty. Don't make waves. Keep everybody happy. All the while, we're not taking care of ourselves. Malcolm says, I look forward to many breakthroughs. Awesome. So Malcolm's prepared. He knows that you get to have a breakdown to have a breakthrough. If nothing changes, if the bricks in the wall don't crumble, can't build a new wall. Can't get to the breakthrough. But oftentimes we want to quit. And we're just 2 or 3 feet short of our miracle. I'm here to encourage you to stay the course. Come back here next week. We're going to talk about cracking your code, reframing your life so that you can have everything you say you want to have. We're going to be learning over the course of this year what those codes stand for, how they're helping businesses grow their sales by 300%. Yep, it's true. You're going to learn that things aren't personal, they're personality. We're going to learn that when you know somebody's code, their code is their buying, B-U-Y-I-N-G, their buying values. You will more easily make sales, not just in your business, in your relationships. Come on, you're selling in your relationship. You're selling in your relationship with your kids, trying to get them on the same page as you, maybe with your spouse, your family. I'm excited to be here. We have come upon the end of our time. And you know me, I could keep going, but my technical assistant, she has other clients, right? Malcolm knows. My Carol's Courage to Confidence Corner, we have a lot of people there. Sometimes we go an hour on Mondays, and we definitely went a long time on the cocktail show. But this has been a ton of fun. Stay safe in the snow. Come back next week. Make sure you get someone to smile this week. Don't run from the breakdown. Embrace the breakdown, knowing that you're going to have a breakthrough. Come back and join us next week and bring a friend. 3 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday. My name is Carol Boston. This has been Crack Your Code, Reframe Your Life. If you're ready to do that and you want to get with a good coach that can help you do it, send me a private message. Let's talk and see if we're a good fit to take you very quickly from where you are to where you really want to go. Blessings, everybody. Make it a great week. Mimi says, I love you, Carol Boston. Thank you always. Love you too, Mimi. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Put me on your calendar. Come next week. Blessings.
Thank you for listening to Into the Entrepreneur Show, brought to you by Life Coaching Today magazine, empowering your health, your business, your community, your life. Check out the latest issue today at lifecoachingtoday.com. Everyone here at the True Awesome Network asks you to please subscribe, like, comment, and spread awesome.